Because mom is punctual. If mom ain't nothing else, she is punctual.
Hello.
How you doing, Miss Maria?
How are you today?
Good. How has your week been going for you?
It's been going okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Care to elaborate? We ain't got nothing but time while we wait for others.
I am on summer break.
It's
not like I have anything to do.
Nothing to do. Yeah.
I did some cleaning. That was nice.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, my husband and his son are celebrating their 50th and 25th birthday this weekend, and you know, we're not the most cohesive family right now. You know, me and my husband are getting back on track. We're in a beautiful space right now. But you know, those are his children and this is his family, you know, and so I'm coming into this space. I wasn't even going to come to the party because I foresaw potential unnecessary conflict, and I was like, it'll just be easier for me to stay home. So
yeah, I get that.
Yeah, so as we got closer, because me and my daughter Adoy, my oldest, I like to tell people's names because I say people's names. You know, so my oldest daughter, Adoy, she came to me and she was just like, you know what, Mom, I think that I've been expressing performative love. I don't believe that I have been loving. And I was like, well, I don't know, you know, but I don't know how to love, so let's give it a go. So, you know, we went to the Bible, and 1 Corinthians 13, 4-8, love is patient, love is kind, love is not proud, love is not boastful, you know. And so we agreed once a week we will pick an attribute and we will live that attribute through our love expression. Yeah, and so this week, let me tell you how funny God is. This week is love does not dishonor. And so I'm like, okay, it originally started, we were sitting down writing definitions, and then it turned into for me, it's like, okay, because it's like, how do I do not proud love? How do I do not boastful love? How do I do these things? It's like, what is this? You know, and so I started receiving like ways to live it, and I'm making the connections like, oh, you know, like how I speak to my husband, because I was like, I want to repair the way that I love my husband. And so I was like, okay, how do I not demonstrate not proud love to him? And when I tell you, God was like, the way that you speak to this man, telling him, I raised these kids, you know, you need to give me my motherfucking credit, you know, because I'm gonna keep it G. I got my foot in this raising thing. Hey, Ree, you know, I got my foot in this raising thing. And so God was just saying, these are different ways that you can manifest not proud love. And so it went from writing down definitions to actually lived expression of it. And through the lived expression, now I'm learning versus this is my definition, so let me try to live this definition. And so today, love does not dishonor falls on the weekend that his family comes into town, and me and his family like this. And so it's like, how do you honor your husband in a room full of conflict? You know, and so God is like, what did I say? God threw me in the pits of hell and was like, you gonna learn this or no? So, all right, hey, Miss Ree, we were just killing time and allowing others to join. This is Miss Maria. This is Ree. You guys can introduce yourselves, and then I'll talk.
Hi, Maria.
Hi.
I'm Ree. I'm here. I don't know what to say. I'm here. I'm showing up for myself, and I'm showing up for my sis, and we are going to make this a beautiful thing.
Okay. Well, I do have a question for you. What are you hoping to get out of these meetings?
Learning how to navigate life walking alongside sisterhood.
I like that.
Having some people behind me that I just know, okay, you know what? We cuss in here.
Yeah.
I'm having a fucked up day. I need somebody just to give me a spark and boost me up a little bit. Hey, Maria, what's good? This is a terrible day. I need a spark, please. Like, that's what I want.
All right, I feel that. I feel like this group can do that. Well, I'm Maria. She introduced me as Miss Maria because I'm also, so that's the name I usually go by. I, like you, hoping to find that sisterhood specifically within other Black women, because I was fortunate enough to grow up in an area that was very diverse, and that's nice, but you know, you find out how anti-Black the rest of the world is, and it kind of, it weighs on you a lot. So I feel the need to have a safe space for Black people, Black women specifically, that we can just come together and talk about the things that we are struggling with, and like you're saying, to help support each other, share the knowledge that we have with each other. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Beautiful. And I am LoneeAppleton. You guys are both familiar with me through different avenues. Ree met me on TikTok. So Ree has watched the evolution of me sitting here like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I know this ain't right. You know, so Ree has been on board since me waking up, right? So she's witnessed all of it. That's why I told you, go back and watch the TikToks. I know it's a lot. It's a year and a half of, look, first of all, it's a year and a half of my history, but it's also a person who just like opened up their channel of communication, and so I'm constantly getting downloads, and I'm like, I have to capture every single download. Now I just let them things go, you know. I'm like, shoot, if it's meant to be delivered, it'll be delivered, you know. But then I was like, no, I gotta tell it. So I was recording and publishing like 12 videos a day. And so, yeah, and I'm just dropping because it just kept coming and I couldn't stop it. And I was like, this is so important. I gotta let the people know. So it's a lot. So the reason why I sent you in that direction, and Ree can, you know, speak to that. The reason why I sent you into that direction is because if you see someone do what you're working to do, then that gives you wings, right? Right now it's in theory, right, Maria? Are you okay with me calling you Miss Maria?
Yeah, I'm fine. You can
all right.
Miss Maria.
Because that's your nickname at this point, you know. But you know,
Miss Maria.
Yes. You know, but right now it's in theory, right? It's in theory what I'm telling you is possible. You're like, okay, sis, I see you already confident. I see you already doing your thing, you know. But if you go watch those videos, you will see me sit in front of the camera like, you know, trying to create, especially if you go to LoneeAppleton Live, you'll see my lives. And so you'll really see me trying to figure it out. And so you can study me.
Sorry to interject, but the lives are where the magic happens.
Okay.
Because that's when you can see visually what she's receiving, because she's interacting with the people on the platform. Also, if you go back on the videos, TikTok, like, don't forget about the feature if you need to speed up the video to make it go a little bit faster, then we can get through. I listen to my audiobooks at like 1.5, 1.8, so you can do that with TikTok too.
I'd be like,
okay, well, I don't have TikTok, so I'm using the YouTube app to look at them. I specifically won't get a TikTok because I can feel that it's gonna suck up a lot of my time to just sit there and endlessly scroll through videos. So I'm like, let me limit my social media outreach.
YouTube lives.
Okay.
They have titles on them and stuff, right?
They have all the compilations and stuff, so I can just go.
Those are so
I started off watching the first 2 compilations and then the last like 3 compilations just to see that huge jump. Noticed definitely the huge jump, and then I was like, okay, I got to go back and see the evolution, because that's definitely, it went from what I imagine is just something that a lot of people do on TikTok, like very memey, very fun, but not much happening to. Fast forward, I was listening to, what was it, the parking lot incident, and I was like, this is some good information right here. Okay, I like this.
So yeah, it's a lot. Just choose your flow. I post everything except for longer videos, right? I post everything on YouTube, but YouTube is like 6 months behind. And so TikTok is where you're going to get everything live action, but I get you have your boundaries. But I post it all on Facebook as far as the 90-minute videos. So you can get the current information while you're picking up the past information. And so you're able to double compound. But, just figure out how, and it's just really, like I said, it's able to see someone who looks like you, talks like you, has the same aspirations as you, and she did it, or she's doing it, so I can too. So it's just another avenue. But I met Maria on Facebook in one of the mom groups. We were talking about love. Like, you answered that on Facebook as well, Ree. It's just like, what does something about love? So Miss Maria hopped on and said what she believed, and it went from there. And so now the three of us have connected. This is gonna be our core group. Because like I told Ree, I was like, I got one more invite for you, sis, because what's about to happen in this group is preparing us for whatever God has in store for us. We all have different paths in this life. I know that I am a teacher's teacher. I'm the coach's coach, and I know that Maria, I don't know what direction y'all are at, but you're above me here and Ree's here. So you see me pointing, that's who I'm pointing to. But, Maria, you have aspirations to, take your teaching to the level that you want to teach it, potentially go into administration, potentially taking on clients in the future. Ree, you have aspirations to change the world. We're just figuring out what your niche is going to be so that you can move in your full authenticity. But all of us have aspirations to leave our mark on this world and be impactful, and as impactful as we can. So what God has blessed me with is the people that are attracting to me are people who have the same heart's desire as me. We're here to change the world. And so I wanted to create this group so that when I start moving, you start moving. So when I start taking on clients and they're like, yo, or I'm like, yo, my schedule is busy, but I got Maria or I got Ree, I know that y'all about that fucking life because I trained you and we trained together. Okay. So I am going to speak in the respect that this is a training. So, yes, we are all peers, but I can say I know what Maria is capable of because we exchanged and learned from each other. I know what Ree is capable of because we exchanged and learned from each other. So if you want me, you definitely want them. So that's why I was like, Ree, I know you about that life. I know it's dinner time wherever you live. I get it. But this opportunity is not something you want to pass up on. And I'm only going to extend it one more time because I know what it is. And it's for you to know what it is. And if the other people that were invited did not pick up on what this is, then it's us three. Because what this will be is what this is going to be. But like I say, when I go, everybody that is attached to me goes with me. But you have to be prepared, which means we got a lot of fucking work to do because my rocket is taking off right now. And so this is evidence of my rocket taking off. Do you understand? A year ago, I could not have an audience of 2 people. This is big. Okay. And so a year ago, Ree was the only person willing to allow me to coach her. And I think I only coached her once. And then we just started talking 3 times. Ree said 3 times, but then we started talking. And so it's like, this is divinity. This is magic. And so I don't necessarily know what this coaching stuff is going to look like. I'm thinking it's going to be an 8-week program, but this for us is the core. This for us is when Ree and I am so Maria was who I developed the idea with, and Ree is the one who also I bounced ideas off of. And so this potentially is going to be, when I host workshops, I already got my panel. When we do online things, I already got my panel. So wherever this is going, it's going. And so I'm so thankful for you two, and potentially an 8-week training of open dialogue, homework assignments. Y'all know how we get down, so God's gonna lead the conversation where the conversation's gonna go. So I don't come in with any agenda. I know that's how we typically learn, but guess what? If you have an agenda, you've already cut off learning, because you say one thing and that sparks a question, but if that question takes us off topic, then we can't go there because it's not a part of our topic, and everybody wants to stay on topic. No, if I want to figure out a problem, that problem may root all the way back to the first time I saw a watermelon fall on the ground. And I'm like, what the hell does a watermelon fall on the ground have to do with the failure of my marriage? I don't know. But if we're allowed to get off topic, we could figure it out. So we don't have agendas here. So let's go. Y'all unmute and let's talk.
All right.
I cannot wait until I grow out of the season of talking like this. Because I'm so over it. I'm like, bitch, hold your head still.
I think we all talk like that because we get passionate and we do this and we move the body.
Yes.
And some people are animated, and it's
I feel like that's a really big thing about Black people in general. We're very animated when we talk, and I don't think we should have to dial that down for the comfort of others.
Okay, but maybe it's me. I don't know, because
why does it bother you?
This is judgment. Boom, go off, Ree. Okay, so this is
Why does it bother you? Yeah.
Exactly. So you're doing exactly what's supposed to be happening in this group. You're asking the questions to make me dig deeper. And I was like, boom, I'm judging myself. So while you're asking, I'm like, okay, let's answer this question. All right. So, and this is how we get off topic, right? This is how we get off topic. Why do I have a problem with me? Ooh, maybe because it looks like that. But, okay, let's go. Well, first I acknowledge that I'm standing in judgment of myself because I watch myself, and I feel that, as Miss Maria said, well, now that there's 3 of us, I don't want to call you Miss Maria. That's going to be our private sessions. But, as Maria said, it's a Black thing. It's an attribute of passion, as Ree said. So it's an expression of these things. And also what Spirit just connected for me is I was just watching a video where this woman, she was using her hands when she speaks, right? And it just seems so unnatural. It just seems like she was moving her hands so that she was moving her hands. You know what I'm saying? Like she was, when somebody's naturally, when someone's naturally gesturing, and when someone who's really popping their shit, they talk with their hands, so I must talk with my hands too. So I look at that, and so as I have different manifestations of myself, I realize that there was a point in time, and as you watch the YouTubes, there was a point in time where I just talked like this. And now I talk like this. And why do I talk like this? Is this authentic? Is this the growth of Lonnie? Or is this me forming into a character? And so now I'm like, because I used to talk like this, and now I talk like this. So is this authentically me? And so now we have to go.
Do you feel like it's performative? Or are you just trying to decide if it is or if it's not?
Exactly. So now we have to go into, because, right, 1 question sparks potentially 2 questions, 3 questions, 4 questions. But now we go through, is it performative or is it authentic? Is it me coming in, this is the energy that's coming up off of me, so this is the energy that I gotta give? Or is this performative? This is the energy coming up off of me, so this is the energy I have to give. So go off. Yes.
Remember we spoke about evolution. So
correct.
Your journaling now looks different than your journaling 2 years ago and even 5 years ago. So you and how you present is going to evolve and change as you go through these different things that you're going to be doing, the different pivots.
Mm-hmm.
So you may shed out of the animation stage, or maybe not, because it's just you now. Like me, I'm animated. It's not going anywhere. It's a part of who I am. I have a natural silliness and goofiness to myself, and that's okay. I'm okay, and I accept that. But the people that are okay with that and don't let that put a veil over the message will be able to receive. So whatever you're saying, it will be for who it's meant to be for.
Amen. You know, and also what I receive is, remember the video that I sent you, Ree, where I was just like, when she does this, you do this, that video comparison? Okay, so this is, and this is the connecting of the dots. I'm sure I've talked to both of you ladies about history is going to give you different things to, so the history that the world is, or God gave me was one, the video with Ree. The other dot that I'm connecting is the person that I saw talking, and I noticed that they were trying to talk with their hands. So those are two things in my recent history that I can remember. I'm like, oh, that's why I paid attention to that. Oh, that's why I paid attention to that. Because now when I'm sitting here, and this is very authentic, right? We didn't say, let's talk about body language or anything like that. It just, I made a joke, and now it sent us into a space of exploration. And I know that this is what we're supposed to be exploring because of the video that I sent to Ree and me paying attention to that girl being fake. Do you guys understand how we ended up here?
Mm-hmm.
And so now are you starting to understand how you can use your past to explain your present?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a beautiful example.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I have really been trying to figure out, how do I explain to the world how to use their past to explain their future? And that was a beautiful manifestation of a live action. I told you twice, this is what's going to be coming up for you. So the final answer, and then we can move on, is right now, as your videos, which is why I brought it up, right now is performative because I saw something that I like. Somewhere, I don't know where. You know, I saw something where I was like, that's an effective tool. It's working. Let me see how I can work it. And that's all you did, Ree. It's working. Let me see how I could work it. Now, the mimic piece that some of us, and I'm just teaching because I'm filming as well so that people can learn from this. But the mimic piece is we get stuck in the, it's working, so let me become it. And so we get stuck in a mimic of what we saw working. But what God intends, what God intends for us is for us to see what's working, right? That's how we learn from each other. It's working, so let me work it. And once we work it, because we're working it in and we're becoming it, you know, like I may use the same language, theory's coming out. I'll work out the language later. But because we're now becoming it and we're putting it within, because the Bible says we have to do work. You know, the NIV version that I have, I don't remember the context, but it literally says you must work. And so when we're working it into us, ooh, I like that. How can I work that into me? Initially, we're going to be a mimic. In the beginning, we're going to be a mimic because I don't know how to work it. I don't know how to incorporate that into my authenticity. But because we don't get stuck in mimic and we know that we're working this in, it will eventually become something normal. And so I am judging myself because I just noticed I picked up something. Now I love it. I love how I talk. I'm like, oh, I am hilarious. I am so fun to watch. You know, because I was on a call last night, and you know, I was like, I'm gonna tell you, I'm like I was going off. Like, and then I finished. I was like, I cannot believe I just like went into I was telling a story, and that passion was coming up off me because I was telling my birthing story, y'all. I was telling how the people that I'm supposed to go break bread with invaded my birthing suite, and I gotta go pretend like we're all okay. Like, yay! You know, so I was...
Do you? Who said that you have to pretend?
Oh, no. I was just telling the story, you know.
Oh, okay.
You know, so...
You can just exist.
Yeah.
You don't have to... Okay.
And so, you know, I was telling my story, and I was like... I was just like, I was going crazy. And So I love the new version of me. And now I understand, stop judging it because it's evolution.
And it's you, and it's beautiful, and it's what draws people like you to you.
Yeah.
And clearly it is part of you. It's not something you're acting, because if it comes out when you're feeling passionate and you're not thinking about how I sound, how I look, that's obviously coming out.
So at that point you became it. It's me now. So if we can assess that someone like me, because I think of myself highly, someone like me, for something to manifest at the level of showing it, even though I say I'm working the theory, understand that it's still been filtered many times before it came out of my mouth. Probably before it came to my realization, because I don't remember who I was talking to. Me and Ree, Maria, you need to start talking to me more. But I was talking to Ree, and we were talking about how many versions of us are working to help us accomplish our goals. So there's us on this physical plane. Now we have the philosophy of, and I think it wasn't this journal. We have the philosophy of, it was this journal, choice. So every time we have alpha and omega, we have a beginning and an end. And every time we make a choice, we either choose negative, positive, or no choice at all. And so depending on what choice we make, we branch off from the negative energy, we branch off from the positive energy, and then we branch off to the version of us that made no choice at all. And so we want to be the version of us that made the positive choice. If we can choose which version, if we know that there's 3 possible versions, there's infinite versions. Because, right, the first 3 branched off into 3, branched off into 3, branched off into 3. So there's infinite versions of us. But if we want to be the version of us at any given time, I want to choose to be the version of me that makes the positive decision. And the positive decision is all inclusive. So I'm putting Maria into consideration. I'm putting Ree in consideration. I'm putting myself into consideration. So when I decided to, and here's live action. When I decided to attend my husband's event, I knew at that point, I scheduled this call because at the time of the schedule of the call, I wasn't going to attend the event. So I could do whatever the heck I want to with my Saturday night. But I came to, love does not dishonor. God dang God. God entered the chat. Who invited you?
He has you moving different.
Who invited you?
Love.
But if I want to be the one that makes the positive decision, and so I was just like, okay, love doesn't dishonor. I'm gonna go. And we resolved some things recently. Just everything, the culmination of everything, the timing of everything is so beautiful. But that's not this conversation. That would be me going off topic. Okay? But even if we did, it'd be something good too. But anyway, let's stay focused. I was like, okay, this event falls on, and it's a full-on party, y'all. It's bumpity bump. I'm sitting in the closet. Like, this is the furthest away I could get from the drama. I am. Ooh, yes. Usher in all the energy.
Closet. Do you remember you used to do lives in your closet?
Miss Maria, my very first live started in a closet.
Aww.
My very first team meeting is in a closet.
And you in the closet now?
No. This is my very first team meeting. This is a team. We're a team.
Oh, yes.
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 And I'm in a goddamn look. Take it to church, Ree. Hold on, I gotta take it. I'm drinking water, y'all. Y'all know the cotton mouth.
I was like, oh, we got the red solo cup. I don't have mine. What you got in there?
Yeah. Shoot. I had to get enlightened because I was just like, that's when my third eye blasts open. I don't have time to play with Lonnie right now. We need full access, so, me and Maria, we be getting right during our meetings.
Yes.
Oh, for real? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Trying to get right that I get right, Lonnie?
Yes. Reset challenge accepted.
Because I was across the street. It was a little kid birthday party, and they pulled out drinks, and I'm like, okay, I got this call at 7. I got it at 7. I'm like, okay, do I have time? No, I don't. Let me get set up so I can be on time.
Yes. Yes. Do you, sis. We are here and we are chilling and we are growing, right?
Yes, and it's Saturday night. We should be able to have fun while we're doing this.
Yeah.
Hey, ladies.
Yeah, so
Are you?
so when I found out, so when I found out the party was at the same time as this call, and I still was acting funky. God got me put together, y'all, because this Airbnb is an hour away from our house. And so it's like, and I just picked up what God did. Like, spirit's just petty. Anyway, so I'm packing up to go, but I'm still like, energy, because I'm on defense, because I don't know how these people gonna come in here, because they came in singing They Not Like Us. Now, everybody else says they were just singing it because it's a popular song. But the same motherfuckers who didn't, kind of acknowledged me and didn't give me a hug, which is cool, because I was trying to figure out how I wasn't going to hug these motherfuckers without being offensive. And so it's like, these people coming in singing They Not Like Us, I'm just like, dang, you just coming in throwing shots? And so, Adoy, who was there, she was like, well, I just thought they were singing the song. And I messaged another one of my friends, and she was like, girl, I've been singing that song for the past month, relax. And so I was like, whatever. And so I was on guard. So when I was packing, I left my laptop at home because I was like, I'm going to go home to work because I need silence. I didn't know how big the Airbnb was. I didn't know I could come to this big ass closet and, lay out in this motherfucker if I want to and have a meeting. I didn't know. And so, and I didn't want all the noise in the background because I'm judgmental. I don't want the ignorance ruining my meeting. The colored folk. I have so much internal hate I gotta work through, and I think this might be why God had me marry into this family, because we are so different. We are so different, and these are the people I judge. Thank you, God, for thank you. I will not waste this time together, because I was gonna sit and observe. I was definitely going to observe tonight, but now I'm going to observe from a perspective of, these are your people and you're judging them for being themselves, for being in the ignorance that they laid before us. Like they demanded that we were ignorant. So why are you mad at us who don't have access to what you've had access to? And boom, Miss Maria, those of us who had access to what you don't have access to. I haven't always been this person. So I got direct access now. They don't. So even if we're judging from the earthly realm, they don't have access to the same education. They don't have access to the passion for education, because 2 kids in the same class are learning differently. And it could be a low income school, but a passionate learner is going to learn everything they can. So it's not even about the access to education for someone who wants that education. And I want to know myself so deeply, I'm teaching others how to know themselves. Like, by teaching you, I'm teaching myself. I've had so many revelations so far. And you guys run your mouth when you need to run your mouth, because I'm healing myself.
Share 2.
Revelations.
2 of the revelations.
Girl, my memory's bad. I just know there's been 2. Knowing that I have self-hate. I won't necessarily do 2, but I will do something so impactful, because God has called me to heal the Black woman. And I often say my biggest tormentor has always been a Black woman. Black women have treated me so badly. We're supposed to hate the white woman, but the white woman ain't never did nothing to me. Now she done held me back from a job. Like, I have clearly seen white promote white. I've seen that. I've clearly seen her not talk to me when I walk into a store. I've seen it. But when I think about the offenses that other Black women have done to me, based on You didn't speak to me because you're trained not to speak to the broke black person that walks in the store. I get it. You're trained. You know, you showed your own favor. I get it, because I show as hell would show my own favor too. You know, now if sis wasn't qualified, I'd be like, but you better get up. Like, I'm gonna give you this opportunity. I'm not gonna be a gatekeeper where I'm like, you're not ready. You're not ready. No, I'm gonna say, sis, if you want to run this race as we're doing right now, Maria, you expressed a desire. Ree, you expressed a desire. I'm like, if you want to run this race, get your ass ready. So I'm not gonna tell you you can't run with me, but what I'm gonna tell you is get your ass ready. And so I'm not mad at the white woman or the white man for making a way for their own. Now, I'm mad at their methodology. The way you're doing it is fucked up. And so now we got another issue. But understanding that was me getting distracted, but very relevant. It's okay to get distracted. I'm not going to get distracted about getting distracted. All right, so God called me to heal us, black women. Black men too, but for me, that's by proxy. Now there will be black men in the audience, of course. But if I get the black woman, I get the black community, which is what Willie Lynch said. If you get the mother, you get the community. So I'm taking our tribe, we're taking our tribe back. We're getting the black woman. And the first black woman we're getting is ourselves. And so the revelation that I had was, how can you judge yourself? Me and my husband are together because I didn't grow up in the hood, but I did a chapter of my life in the hood. I did a chapter of life in the hood so that I could be a gang member, so that I can, sag my pants, so I can do the hood rat, with my hood rat friends. I had to do that so that in 2010, when I meet LoneeAppleton at Empire Beauty School, first of all, I go into Empire Beauty School because when I tell you there's some misfits in that motherfucker, I was like, this and this is the first time I met a gay person for real. I was just like, Lord, what is going on in this place? It was something. But this is where I'm starting to build my acceptance, because I never had this exposure person, so I have all these prejudgments. And so now I go to Empire Beauty School and I'm going to use the language for the last time to tell this story. I'll change the language in the future, because even if you're retelling a story, it does not justify using lower vibrational language. So I'm going to, okay, so I have an intrusive thought, because Spirit is developing the concept of these calls. And so I'm like, in my mind, because I have conversations going on in my mind while I'm speaking. And sometimes they get so loud that I'm just like, bloop, change the station. Here's what the motherfucker's talking about. And so I'm like, you're talking too much. Let the ladies talk. Well, first of all, y'all have both demonstrated you know how to interject and get your word in. So it's not that you guys are like, man, she's long-winded. She needs to let me get in. Also, I know how to respect and fall back. As soon as I hear your voice, I stop. I'm not full of myself to like, let me finish this thought. I'm like, well, I deliver what I'm supposed to deliver. What's this got to say? Because she got something to teach me. And so.
Okay. So I'm going to ask, this is actually funny that you would start mentioning this. So I want to make sure that I'm understanding this clearly. You're noticing the self-hate that you have for the Black community and the way like they traditionally express themselves culturally, I guess. All right, yeah, this is definitely God has put us together, because this is something I have thought about for a very long time. Specifically because I noticed a lot in the more privileged Black spaces. We can have whole talks, dissertations, meetings, about what the white man has done to the black community, and then in the same breath we don't have grace for those people who were victimized by it and could not get past it the way we got past it. And mind you, not by anything that we did. I was born, luckily born into a family that had privilege. Both of my parents are from the south side and west side of Chicago. They had the privilege to move me into the suburbs where I lived in a neighborhood that had mansions in the neighborhood. So I went to a fantastic school. Okay, that was a privilege that I did not give myself. I got lucky. Okay, so who am I to turn around and go, oh, well, you're less than because essentially you didn't get lucky. You did not get as lucky as me. So
I feel you there. Do you all feel like you've had your blackness challenged way too many times by other black people? Yes, same. You're not black enough.
Probably for different reasons, though.
I understand why they say
I'm
that.
light skinned, so I'm never gonna be black enough. It's not economical. Y'all grew up with some money. I grew up broke. If that was the equalizer, then I'm like you. But this light skin, they were like, yo, broke ass still don't qualify.
Grew up with money. My mom did the thing if she got the worst house in the best neighborhood. We had no grass. Everybody else had a nice house, very suburb. We had no grass. The stairs. Well, my dad built the stairs out of some wood and just left it like that. It was just the wood. Okay, it was not cute. The house was 83 years old, but it gave me access to a mansion in this neighborhood school. So when I did
you appreciate it?
I did because I noticed when I moved from that district to a it's still a white district, mind you, but it was out in the sticks. So this was the farming district. And I realized that my freshman year, my teachers are all praising me. Oh my gosh, you're so this and that. And
you're so articulate.
Yeah, but they're saying it as in way more than your peers, all of your peers. And I was like, I learned this stuff in 6th grade. What do you mean my peers don't know how to do this kind of stuff? I did not. Well, I understood that the school I had went to was just way better than the school district I was in now, where as a freshman, they're not doing the same things that I was doing when I was in 6th grade. And these were white kids. So I kind of understood there was still some disparities. I didn't know it was as bad as it is, because what I experienced in that school district, south side of Chicago, west side of Chicago, way worse. Okay. But I understand why a lot of black people will look at me and see that. I am fully black. Both of my parents are black. I just look like this.
I'm fully black too, believe it or not.
Yeah, just that. And I have me and my sister were full-blooded sisters. She's very dark skinned.
Mine too. My sister is Reese color.
Way the dice fell.
The genetics are the study of genetics. Like you have this epigenetic in same siblings. Something may get turned on. Blue eyes on this kid, but brown eyes on this one. It's so interesting.
Yes, and all of my siblings, we all look different like that. Where was I going with this?
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
We're talking about privilege.
They mean I've taken a lot of education classes on the history of schooling in America. Okay, I want y'all to know that ever since segregation happened, they very much did set up school to be a system of white people understanding what's happening. It's the language white people use. It's the culture white people decide is right. And they make sure that when these kids of color come in, oh, you don't know what we're talking about? That's, oh well, sucks to be you.
So the language in itself is the first stumbling block. Dang.
Yes.
Simply.
Exactly.
You know what? That makes me want to ask my mother. Where she grew up in Louisiana, she was one of the first neighborhoods to be bused.
Okay.
So they figured out if
To
they
the
were
white
going
schools.
to, hold on, they figured out if they were going to include us, just like they didn't release the chains until they figured out how to continue slavery, they did not figure out, they did not include us in their education system until they figured out how to use it against us. All right, finish your story.
Yes.
Well, Ree, I wanted to hear about the busing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry.
My mother was just saying how, like, she went to the black schools, and then I guess everything happened. She had to be bused to the white schools. My mother, I don't know what she remembers and what she's willing to be open and honest about. So I don't really know, because, like, the way that she expresses her life was all glitter, sparkles, and rainbows.
Do you think it was painful, or it's masking, I want the perfect background?
But my mother has always had God's favor on her life. So maybe she didn't experience.
Me? The life that I have led should have killed me, but I've had God's favor. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm in the middle of a crack house and I'm selling drugs, but, you know, meh.
You are protected.
Yeah, yes, I got, it's like crazy. It's crazy. Favor is so crazy. I'm sorry. I just had to glorify God because I have experienced things.
That's what my mother's life has been about, glorifying God. So now in this stage of life, I can accept that and appreciate that. Because growing up, I'm like, you always talk about God. You always, you thought about that. But now I'm like, oh, God's love is like sweet nectar. You know, it's like sitting by the ocean with the ocean wind. I mean, you know, like, it's just so sweet, especially when Spirit just gives you those little special hugs and kisses. It's like, oh, thank you. So I'm realizing that God's favor just, it surrounds you and he protects you, and the angel's just always there. Sometimes you don't experience what the devil has intended for you because the protection around you is so strong.
Yes, and for me, I think about how God's favor is so strong that things that were sent to help me, these things started way before I was even born.
Amen.
God knew Maria's gonna need this help. I'm gonna make this happen so when she comes along, here's this whole institution here ready for her. And to me, I'm like, that's just the most amazing expression of love. You knew what I was gonna need thousands of years ago and made sure to put it into action so that you could be here for me today. I'm like, ooh, that just tingly makes me feel special.
Like, isn't that amazing? Like,
yes,
God does that for you.
Yes.
God does that for you.
For you.
Exactly.
For you.
Yes.
Like, no.
Yes.
That's epic. That is freaking epic. Like, let's just sit in that energy real quick.
Okay.
Let's really just sit in the fact that God prepared this day for you.
If we look at life like that, all the way around, everything that you encounter, every gift you receive, even if it's a hug from your kids or your lover or whatever, like, God did it for you. Lonnie, God is restoring your marriage for you. He's restoring your family for you. Look at all the things he's doing for you. I don't know your life yet, Maria, but I know he's probably... Look, I learned from my sister, like, I don't want to find a gender anymore. Because why does God need a gender? God is not like us. Not like us. God not like us. God not like us. God not like us. But, like, it's just beautiful. Like, okay, God, you put me on this earth. What am I here for? What do you want me to do? Show me. And how can I be a light to others? How can I give them a little sprinkle, a little razzle dazzle, so that they can feel just a little glimmer of, oh, is that a little bit of joy?
Right.
Is that a little bit of razzle dazzle?
Yes. I don't know if it was one of you ladies that I made the analogy. It wasn't. It was another lady that I'm teaching right now. if you take some dirty water and you take some clean water, if you pour the clean water into dirty water, you just made the clean water dirty. Because you can't fill a dirty vessel with cleanness. You gotta purge. You gotta, and I told my husband I'm going to purge him. And I did. The version of my husband that I was willing to fight and be an enemy to, I purged him. Literally, when I told my husband, when I said I'm gonna purge you, I was just like, well, shoot, when a woman's fed up, I'm about to put you in the box with the rest of these motherfuckers, and I'm gonna just go through life raising my children, and you just gonna be in the house. And I purged that version of him, and I became a whole new being. Like, y'all, I am not her. Like, the woman who was speaking the way that she was speaking about her husband and all of that, her marriage and all of that, she's not here anymore. Because I purged her. I purged him. I purged him, and I became me. So, yes, I use that language in a way to just say, I'm done. Like, I'm done. You know, but God just made the connection. No, you did purge. Go ahead, Ree.
Did that mean done with him, or I'm done with this version of us, and I'm going to hold until we can enter a new version?
Yes.
That's better.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And
because when you were sleeping in the other room, the way that you spoke during that time, you spoke from a place of being fed up, a place of wanting better, and it's like, you know what, I'm trying, and you don't see it, so I'm just going to go over here and do it until I get something. I need something.
Yeah.
When you got that something from him, not necessarily what is it to tell us, but like, what was it for you? It's like, oh, okay, he on board now.
Yeah. Well, we know spirit moves, right? We know spirit is going to inspire us. I don't know if you guys seen that, and when this ends, we'll just click the link again and come back in. I don't know if you guys saw that Shyamalan video. I don't know even which one it was, but the Sixth Sense guy. But the guy, he was supposed to go to the major leagues, but he didn't make it to the major leagues, and the aliens came, and the little kid had a habit of leaving cups of water everywhere.
Oh, signs.
Signs, yes. That, like, before I knew what this stuff was, I was so intrigued with that movie because I saw how this led to this, and they're yelling at the kid for leaving water everywhere, but if the kid wasn't leaving water everywhere, when the aliens came, the MLB player who got sent back home wouldn't have been able to knock them glasses with the precision to kill the fucking aliens. Like, yo, I saw the patterns, and I'm sure he made it so plain, but to me that was so magical. So that could probably be my first memory of starting to see, because first I see the literal pattern. So I'll look at the clouds and I'll see something. I'll look at wallpaper and I'll see something. You know, so first I start seeing patterns that way, so that in the physical world, I see it first, because we're physical beings, and God knows God can just show up in spirit now, but back in the day, God couldn't just show up in spirit. So I had to see things in the physical world. And then now that I see things in the physical world, now I can be walked back into where it's like, whatever the hell what I started talking about, I totally lost my train of thought. So, signs. Okay, so now I'm watching this movie, and of course it's literal, because the Hollywood game is, and I won't even say that it's the actual director. I won't say that it's Shyamalan. I will say that it's the powers that be that see a Shyamalan produce, deliver a script that is like, oh, the truth is starting to come out. So they let that script go forward, because we have to let them know that when they start seeing these signs, to credit them to Hollywood, to discount them, but not realizing that this is magic manifesting. But they're like, what is it, the red hair or whatever, the red herring or something like that. It's like they want you to go look that way. so that you're not paying attention this way. You know, so Imalama Shimalin, or the Black Matrix lady, they submitted a script that started piercing the veil. And they were like, yo, we can't let the general population know this shit exists, but we can't withhold it. So let's turn it into Hollywood. And now when they do start experiencing these things and start piercing through the veil, they'll have disbelief because I first saw it in Hollywood. So is fact mimicking fiction, or is fiction creating fact? And so now we doubt our intuition.
I feel like, especially with a lot of the stories we see in these Hollywood films and different books, these people are noticing things happening in real life. And they're going, hey guys, I'm connecting the dots here, and this has happened before, historically. For one, we keep repeating ourselves. History keeps repeating itself, and we just keep letting it repeat itself. And they're going, hey, we know how this plays out, but I need y'all to wake up because this has happened before. Are you going to pay attention to the signs this time around, or are we going to ignorantly let the same thing happen over and over?
Yeah.
So these people see these things going down in society, and they're trying to warn the rest of us in a way that is, not right in your face, because government's going to shut that down immediately.
Palatable in a way that we understand.
Yeah.
Connected.
That's that whole.
I don't even know what y'all talking about, but I understood.
The Sandra, I believe her name is Sandra Macy. I apologize if I'm messing that up. And the Sandra Bland connection.
When you connected that, I'm like, oh my God, everything that you're saying, everything repeats itself differently. You've been saying, get your journals out, go read today, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Still haven't done it because I got to pull them out, but I had it. I don't know if I'm ready for it, to be honest.
When you do it, it'll be time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I told Adoy today, I was like, I'm ready to see spirit because I'm starting to see shadows move. And now I don't know if it's the enlightenment or, I don't know. But I'm starting to see things moving, and I go and I look and there's nothing there, but it's like a shadow. So I'm okay with a shadow moving. I was like, I'm ready to see spirit as long as it's a gradual progression. Don't just boom, sitting in front of me like, hey, how you doing, Lonnie? I need a slow progression, but I'm ready. If it is possible to see spirit, like, do you see how powerful that'll be if I could see spirit? Like,
Yes.
Someone told me I'm a medium, so maybe I know, like, and I posted this video a long time ago. I see, or I experience energy in my sleep. But it wakes me up, and there's actual video because we have Ring cameras where I'm dead sleep and I sense an energy and I sit up and I punch, and then I'm so used to this that I just go back to sleep, because it's been happening to me since I was 7. I remember I was sleeping, I screamed, and my dad was like, "What's wrong?" And I was so afraid. Our parents have us so afraid that we can't even tell the truth. And so I was like, I'm going to get in trouble if I tell this man that I sensed somebody was in my room. And so I was like, I had a dream.
Back then,
yeah, he would have told me I was crazy. What? Yeah.
Yes.
And so I was like, I had a dream about a witch, and so it was the truth. There was something scary in my room, and it wasn't a dream. That was the lie part. It wasn't the witch part. It was a dream part. Something was in my room. And I can confidently say that now. I doubted it up until this very moment. Something comes into my room. And sometimes it's in the form of an animal. Sometimes it's in the form of human. Sometimes, whatever, and as soon as I sense it, I wake up. And so I've always been like, I don't want to know spirit. If this is how it feels to meet you, go on that way. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me alone. Like, I'm so thankful.
In my head, I'm just saying, Okay, Spirit, you be having my life walk behind Lonnie's. I don't want this one right now.
Yes.
Like,
it's a lot.
Let me be on my own. Let me get used to this where I am right here.
Well, no, and that's crazy you say that, Ree, because I'm so, and Maria, this is Marie rescuing you from me. So thank Ree, because I am so desperately pulling you like, come on, Ree, come on, because you demonstrated that you get it. I was like, oh, she gets it? Let's go. And in that, I believe I have helped you, push you further than you may push yourself independently. But I also need to have patience with you as well as, and give you time to sit in the fact that you've grown. Like, we just had a family 6-month update about how far we've about how far we've come as a family, and so.
Wait, that's the person who does those YouTube channels?
He just said, is that the person that does those YouTube channels?
Hey.
And those live, the little live things? Yes, that's her. That's my friend Lonnie.
That's me.
See, my family knows.
Yes.
We watching YouTube on the big screen up in here.
Yes.
All right, but you gotta go. You don't have socks on. You need you need shoes on. Oh, that's why you need shoes on. Okay.
And you have to understand that allowing my videos to play out loud in your home is subjecting your entire family to what I'm saying. So if it's working for you, it's going to work for them too. So not only are you mimicking, right? You're picking up what I'm putting down. You're like, it worked for her. I'm going to see how I can work it for me. So not only are you mimicking, but while you're mimicking, you go past the mimic space and now you become it. And now the seed was already planted when they heard it from me. So I made, our kids and our husbands don't listen to us, but they'll listen to someone else. So when you're listening to LoneeAppleton and you're listening to me so other people can hear, understand those people who can hear, the seed was just planted for you. Now, as you mimic me, and they're like, stop trying to be like Lonnie, but what they don't know is you're trying to become your version of Lonnie. And then when it finally sets in, and you're like, oh, okay, now I know how to use it. And you hit them with your version, and the seed was already planted, and you've been slowly trying to get it to germinate. I don't know the language, but grow the dang seed. Boom, as soon as you figure out how to how to use it, seed meets water.
Are we joining back in?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's the time? Yes. Okay, I'll see you guys.
Okay.
Oh, shit. What have we here? What have we here? What have we here? God is so good. Why this thing will not let me change my name? That's all right. I guess I'm Lonnie Taylor in these here streets. You. Hope y'all enjoying yourselves tonight. All right, ladies. So yeah, you have to understand by making the choice to listen to those videos so that everybody in earshot can hear. The work is being done for you. God is good.
That's my thing. Like, I know you can't come back here right now, dear. I'm on a call. You and your friends stay in the front. Thank you.
Respect mommy.
Boundaries.
Yes.
Get me back on track because I don't know what I was going to say now.
We were talking about...
Come back.
Yeah, we were just saying that your choice to listen to the content on the big screen is subjecting your children to the content. So,
okay.
Even if you remember, let me hold on real quick. Even if you remember to teach it yourself, the seeds have been planted. You understand? And if it can penetrate your brain, it can penetrate theirs because they're you. And so, whether you know or not, we're both teaching them. This is tribe. We're both teaching them.
Oh, that's pretty amazing.
God created this day. Did I tell y'all our mantra? Hold on. Let me tell you our mantra. Apparently there's a mantra every time we come together. And it is, how can you take today for granted?
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be the mantra for the week. How can you take today for granted when you know that this day was made for you? How can you be upset about anything? If we go back to decisions, if we go back to the negative or the positive decision, if you knew today was created for you, are you going to take the negative choice, the positive choice, or the no choice at all? If I knew the day was made for me, I'm what's the happiest decision I could make at any given time? Because how can I be so in gratitude? How can I give God thanks when I know that? How can you thank somebody that perfectly crafted this day for me? And you, and you, and you. And it's like, yo, the craftsmanship in that shit.
Day that I don't walk around skipping.
Every day. Every day.
Because you expect good things, knowing this day was created for you. So you have an expectancy of good things.
Yeah, but even if
But
even if it in hellfire. This is hellfire, y'all. And that's why this conversation is so beautiful.
But it's not that bad.
Because
it could have been where you are.
Because somebody said it earlier. Somebody said it earlier. Somebody said it earlier. I can talk myself into it probably. But the point that I want to make is I came in here thinking the most negative outcome when I should have came in here thinking the most positive outcome. And someone said it earlier, God's grace, Bree, you said it, God's grace and God's covering. When you are God's chosen, Maria, you said it, when you go into a room, you bring a piece of energy, and I don't know, both of you said something that made me have this thought. I can't figure out verbatim, but just know credit is given. Anyway, you said when you go into a room, you influence the energy in the room, and this is how quick I can mimic you and become you. You understand? So now I'm saying what you said in my language, which means I understood and I internalized. And so I was paying attention because I'm using all 6 senses at once. And so I can take everything you guys say to me. It's like, how can I make sense of it? Because I may say 1 million words right now, but understand 1 million of those words were on purpose. Even Ree's children coming into the frame and the words that she exchanged with them were for both of us. Because God wastes no time. So whatever is happening on this call is supposed to be happening in perfect divinity. And God's plan is so brilliant that I'm recording this, which means everyone that watches this video is being recorded perfectly, second by second, frame by frame for them. So this day isn't only for us 3. This day is for everyone who will observe this video. That's the butterfly effect, I think. One action affects another action, affects another action. Like, this is big. What we just discovered on this call tonight is I don't need to talk anymore. I think the call is over. Because for me, we discovered that this is the day that the Lord has made for me. They left that part off. For me. Like, let's sit on that. Maria, we just met. And we made a connection to where I invited you into something that I'm sure you didn't expect it to become. Because I didn't expect it to become this.
Me neither.
Yeah, and so... Right? You were like, what the hell did I stumble into?
Yes.
Because it was a literal stumble, right? I posted some random something. Yeah, it was a random something that I posted on social media, and we ended up here. So it's not even about knowing a person for a particular length of time. I met Ree last year on TikTok. And she has just been an amazing student in her capacity to teach herself from the content and her willingness to ask questions. I offer to people all the time. You know, I'm just like, ask me. But I understand God is withholding them because if they were supposed to ask, they would. You know, so I respect that. But it's just like I put it out there all the time. Ask me, ask me, ask me. Especially now when the people have access to me. I'm here. I'm doing this stuff for free, you know? And it's like, if you truly see what this is, why wouldn't you be like, hey, I got a motherfucking question, you know? Except for when they put me behind hundreds and thousands and millions of dollar doors, because I'm going to be charging millions of dollars to talk to me. You know, you too, Maria, this is where this is headed. Stick with it. This is where this is headed. Because I'll train you until you can train me. I already told you, how will you know when you're there? Because you can teach me, and I'll train you to that capacity. As long as you stay on, we on. That's my commitment to you. Just remember me. Remember me. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, and so I just know this is beautiful, and I know what I can share with you to help you in my recent discovery is the place that I am today. I had to build the foundation yesterday. And so watching the videos, you're seeing me build the foundation. So in order for you to trust me to speak over your life, for you to allow this space, I had to, whatever you looked at when you vetted me, like even if it's flimsy research, even if it's intuitive research, like this just feels like a safe space, even if it's whatever, you put that into me and you saw whatever it is you needed to see, and you probably wouldn't have saw that in me a year ago, 6 months ago, whatever, because we came into alignment at the perfect time that we could read each other. I couldn't read you a second before, I couldn't read you a second later. So because this is the day that the Lord has made for us, we fell into vibrational alignment at the perfect time for us both to understand each other. And at some point, we're going to potentially fall out of alignment because I've taught you all that I can teach you. But this doesn't feel like an intense, we're feeding off of each other relationship, especially in your silence. So I'm just like, okay, her learning process is different and I need to respect her learning process. But I also want you to know that I mean, talk to me. Now, if your spirit is saying, do not talk to her, be obedient to your spirit, because now you're listening. This is God. This is the lesson you're being taught. Are you going to listen to Lonnie, or are you going to listen to your intuition? Because you trust both, right? But one is weaker than the other. Somebody's voice is louder, and we're going to determine that every time. If your intuition is telling you the opposite of what I'm saying, who are you trusting? And if your intuition is saying stay silent, don't talk to her, and I'm telling you talk to me, who are you going to listen to? So that's the lesson you're being taught.
You're right about that. I learn differently than you do. So what I found, which I had to go back and watch what I did to get to that point. When I enter into new spaces with new people, I tend to sit back and observe, see who they are, what their values are, what kind of language people use. And then I kind of slither in and just become a part of it.
Yeah.
Just, I don't, it's helped me. I'm really good cross-culturally. Talking with people cross-culturally because I do that. So for me, I feel like I'm kind of a chameleon in that way of just being able to fit into whatever group. But I do still need that period of I'm listening to them, getting to know them, getting to know who they are. So definitely I will talk, especially when I hear stuff that I'm connecting to, like you saying what you said about having issues with your husband's family. I'm like, this is literally a thing that I set up, and me and God essentially were talking back and forth about, wow, these things happened in history, and we know that they happened, and we still can't give our brothers and sisters grace for what they've been exposed to. And I call these people that I don't want to label you, but the people who fall into that have this kind of new black ideal that I'm just now learning. Me and my friend have been going on this journey of like learning a lot about history, and we just watched this whole breakdown of the eugenics movement in America, and holy fuck, one, everything is connected. Just letting you know, when something happens, it's connected to everything else, for one. Two, a lot of it is connected in a very sad, terrible way. So I'm here to actively fight against that, actively help people see their history, how it ties into the things that are happening today, and know that the more we have this knowledge, the better chances we'll have of defeating this.
And it's been in our faces the whole time, sis.
The whole time.
It's been in our faces the whole time.
The whole time, but I didn't know my history, so I didn't know what I was looking for.
And I just told my family when we sat in our 6-month review and we were like, what would we like to see in the future? And it's one of the last things I wrote. I was like, we need to learn our Black history. I was just like, I've always been so full of myself in the respect that I'm like, I don't need to know it for the reason why this is used against us, right? I don't need to know it for the reasons so that I can stand in a room and say I know it too. I don't need to know it from a perspective so now that I know it and because I identify this way, now I have to present this way. When someone, gets all spiritual, they change the way they look. When someone, gets whatever, they change. And God was like, that's why I present this way. I am a blank slate. And once I came out of the space of in my 20s presenting that way, and girl, titties up, ass lift, I was all the things in my 20s. And when I came out of that space, and maybe God was like, I need your mask to be so pervasive that you disgust yourself so that you can come out of it. I'm going to give you the opportunity because you got to experience it, right? Our experience is on purpose, but it's got to be so, I hate myself while I'm doing it. It has to be that way so that you'll bring your ass up out of it. And so that's the way God taught me different things. And, I forgot what I was talking about, but what were we talking about?
That's okay, you made your point.
When I say the benediction, Rhea don't mean the benediction.
I'm sorry, I got thrown up and Ray came back to the room.
Sorry.
My bad. But
sorry.
I remember connecting to what you were saying.
Yes.
Oh, like about how you presented yourself and causing the kind of self-hate, but that's what pushed you to move past that part of yourself and I guess to evolve into who you want it to be.
Yes, so I'm going to go when I leave this space and hug his family members and apologize to them because it did not come from a space of love. It did not come from a space of honoring my husband. Like, I don't know what our wedding vows were. I shied away from the traditional vows, but now that the little bit that's in my head, I think somewhere it says to honor in there, so maybe I should have did some of the traditional vows, but I'm getting it now. And lucky for me, I'm still in my marriage to heal it, right? Some of us are out of our marriage and we figure out how to heal it, and now we got to go marry someone else because we done screwed it off with the other person. So I'm just in a space where I gotta meet people where they're at instead of pushing my own agenda. Acceptance of you two and where you're at. I'm still going to push you, but from time to time it looks different. Tonight I pushed you and I didn't raise my voice or say no. I didn't point at you once tonight. So I'm going to take the win, but I also inspired you in another way, right? I reached inside of you. Like, sometimes I got to reach inside of you different ways. and it's gonna flow, especially in a couple situation, because sometimes you're gonna be coaching people, 2 people at the same time, 3 people at the same time, 1,000 people at the same time. So given the person we're talking into the room, given the person that we're talking to in the room, we're going to talk to them different. We're going to have a different energetic output, you know? And so we have to make sure, and this is God rooting back to the movement, right? We have to make sure that we are energetically plugging into who we're speaking to at that given time, because that is how you move people, right? We know that in the physical world, we can move people by, I remember she likes this. I remember her birthday is this. I remember, I'm going to check in and see how she's doing. I remember she told me she was struggling, so I'm going to check in. That's what we do in the physical world to plug into each other, and depending on how much we value it, that's where neurosis sets in, right? Mind, manipulation. So now we moved into the disgustingness of it. There's nothing wrong with us plugging into each other, but when we start trying to take ownership of each other, now we've crippled ourselves. And so we have to make sure that we are choosing either the negative or the positive, and we are staying in alignment. Reed, do you understand how people tell me to stay on topic and everything is a fucking topic? Like, we keep reaching back.
That I have with women that I know jump around and they may circle back.
Yes.
It's a skill that some women have. I thought it was all women, but it's not.
No.
But my husband, he's like, Reed, I'm still back here. And you said women, like, it's like it's all connected.
Yes, it's a skill. I never saw it as a skill because this linear world wants me to feel like it's a problem. Because remember, they want us to stay on topic.
Think about
that's the brainwashing.
No, you can't have your friends in here.
We're only allowed to think about one thing at a time. That's the brainwashing.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. We gonna keep talking anyway. We're all moms. We know a good distraction when we see it.
Yes.
All right, ladies. We can either pick the flow back up or go be with our families.
Or it's ended and we've done, or
and we sit on what we had. We definitely had some value add conversation when you stepped off. Whenever me and Maria go one-on-one, it's a phenomenal energy. Just like whenever you and I go one-on-one, it's a phenomenal energy. So when you dropped off, we definitely had some value add conversation. It's so sad that we both forgot it because it was good. I was in it.
Nobody was taking notes.
No.
It was just coming out. It just spills out. I don't plan it.
Yeah. So let's give our homework assignments. If anyone has any, mine for the group is to really just sit in the knowing that this is the day that the Lord has made for me, and am I going to choose negative or positive in any given situation? And it's at the microcosms of ourselves, right? We may not punish our kid, but there was a part of us that felt annoyance. So when we are diving into excellence, it is at the microscopic level of ourselves. It is not at the huge manifestation of us, because when they tell us, okay, you're healing, let's heal the outer core, the shell that's been built over lifetimes and dimensions and ancestral blood and all this other stuff. Let's wipe that clear. You feel better? And then now that I feel better, I think that I did something. But we don't understand. It's like those everlasting Jolly Ranchers, those jawbreakers, where you lick them and you get to different colors and you're licking, damn near take the off your tongue. Yeah, I used to skin my tongue on them goddamn Jolly Ranchers. But I couldn't stop licking. Everlasting. Anyway, so, it's like you peel back a layer. Like, first of all, I licked until I skinned my tongue. I licked until injury. Why? Was it greed? Was it an addiction to sugar? Was it accomplishing a goal? I have to see this to the end.
You have to figure it out.
Yeah, so there's different manifestations. We're saying, oh, so in the pie chart of life, it's any of those things. And so now I don't even have to intentionally dig down that rabbit hole. The fact that it just popped up for me, I'm already working on it. And because there's nothing not for purpose, you too, whatever I'm saying out of my mouth, every single word, every single gesture, everything that's in the background is on purpose for you and for me. And this is the beautification of it all. Every single piece of what is happening in this moment, this grand orchestra of life, y'all, I'm so excited right now. I don't want you to waste another fucking second being upset. Because one, we know if we go through this moment upset, we're creating the next upset moment, because that's the seed we just put in the ground. And we already know it's going to give root. That's just agriculture or something, I don't know. And if we decide to choose the negative or the positive version of us, if there's 3 versions of us living at any given time, we have to make sure that we choose the positive version. Whatever that is in our current field of awareness, it may grow in the future, but right now I believe this is the best decision at the time. Spirit is forgiving. Spirit's like, no, you did not make the best decision, the best possible decision you could make ever. You did not make it. You're fucked. No, Spirit's not like that. Spirit's like, you used the tools that you were aware of at the time to make the best possible decision. Thank you, good and faithful servant. The door has been opened. And this is what I was delivering to you. See how Spirit just brought me back? I want you to know, Miss Maria, that the foundation that you are building right now is necessary for you to stand on at your next level. So the nothing that you were doing before, you were doing something in that depressive state that you wasted your energy and being down energy, where you should have been like, my energy has left my physical body because it's off doing some spiritual world, and that's why I feel down. Now you can move into self-destruction if you want to, because that's what they tell us to do, which fuels the alcohol industry, which fuels the gas industry, because they trucking this shit around. You're fueling all kinds of industry by diving into substance because you're depressed. No, your energy is off handling some business. All this is about to have a level up. We gotta go. Hold up. Let me shut her down and go handle some business. That's what it is. It ain't depression, it's a shutdown.
I like that perspective.
Yeah, so...
because I'm climbing out of there too, so yeah.
So you have to understand this. Understand this, y'all. Because God gave me this like God gave me this. The opportunities that I'm coming into today are on the work that I did yesterday. So that TikTok page that ain't going nowhere because I can't get off of 12.1 thousand followers... the opportunities that I have today are based on that 12.1 followers. So instead of being mad that I'm stuck at 12.1, why don't I go look up what the number 121 means? What does the number 4 mean? Clearly that's a divine number for me, because that number is getting me opportunities. I don't have to have 100,000 followers in order to get the opportunities that I need to stand on in order to get the next opportunities. Do you understand, Maria? And this is the point I was talking about. Do you understand, Maria? I would not be talking to you. That was what we were talking about. I would not be talking to you if I didn't have whatever it was that you went to go research me to stand on. And so God gave me the platform to stand on. It wasn't for me to have explosive anything. It was in order for you to restore your family to its queendom, you need this to stand on today. Because I'm sorry, mama, you can't go from your bed to a queendom and ruling that which you desire to rule without taking a few steps. So you're being stepped up. And that step is being formed right now. You can't step on that step until it's formed, right? You are creating. So whatever you're doing right now, and if you look at what you're doing at the, infancy, you could see what you're doing on the biggest possible vision you could have for yourself. So this is what this story is about to demonstrate. So I tell you what it is, and then I give you an example. So what I'm going to demonstrate is the biggest possible. Okay, so what's happening is what God is doing. God has blessed me. The opportunity gives me the opportunity. The opportunity gives me the opportunity to stand in front of people and teach. So what I'm doing with the sister circle where nobody's attending, I have now been able to attach myself to a vehicle that has an audience. And when I tell you the type of people that are in this audience that I have access to now, some movers and shakers, I have access to these audiences. So it's not for me to change my message. Oh no, I can't talk about the things that I used to talk about. It's for me to continue to refine my message so that I can deliver it in these rooms, because you can't be so in somebody's face that they become abrasive. You have to finesse it and put it in there so that they'll receive it like, dang, am I on somebody's toes right now? You got to deliver it in that way to where motherfuckers like, dang. Oh, boom, I do have to make this point. God's not going to let me leave this room without making this point. The opportunities that are coming to me. Okay, God has given me an opportunity, not knowing that this is the day that the late Lord has made for me. And so I'm like, but who's in that room? What is God preparing me for? Right? Not saying that the opportunity is sitting in this room. These people in this room could do nothing for me but give me an opportunity to speak in front of the elite. Now it's not Obama, but I am in the...
But it could be.
Boom. So what is God preparing me for? What is God preparing me for? What is God preparing me for? So Miss Maria, what is God preparing you for? What are you doing today that you haven't done in your historical past? And you're like, what if I dreamt the biggest dream that I could dream? Is God preparing me for? So for me, being in rooms with these people that, seem touchable and tangible, and I would take this opportunity for granted, except for I know if God has put me in the room with politicians, God is preparing me to be in the room with politicians. If God is placing me in rooms with pastors and these different individuals, God is preparing me to be in the room with the elite. What is the biggest possible rooms? I'm in the rooms with world leaders. That's where God is taking me. If I could think and dream this and put the hearts of my desire, if I could take it as big as I can believe it, if God is placing me in this room, God must be preparing me for this room. So when we look at this call, right? Why did God put us in this room? What is the biggest possible dream we could dream? So that's our additional homework. If we know that this is the day that the Lord has made exclusively for me, and God placed me in a room different than the rooms that I've been historically, why? What is God preparing me for? And we know this to be true because we have watched Lonnie use her 12,000 followers on TikTok and her 200 views. Like, I don't have nothing that anybody will look at my profile and be like, oh, she doing it. Like, when we think about the worldly, oh, she doing it, I ain't got it. When we got impressed sister girl, type situations, oh, girl, she got 12,000 followers. I ain't got a check from TikTok since I've been monetized and actually lost my monetization. Like, I ain't doing nothing, But God gave me that because that was just enough. This is the provision. This is the provision in the desert. God gave me the just enough. I've been so small-minded that I was like, thank you, God, that we could feed the kids tonight. Provision. But no, God's like, I gave you an online platform just big enough to attract an organization that'll put you in front of community leaders, because I'm preparing you to be in front of world leaders. And that's the manna. And that's the land flowing with milk and honey.
Yeah.
Boom. Do you see how far back that one reached? Damn, me and Ree been talking about that one since January when I started reading the Bible. That's crazy.
It's almost like a good comedian will say something at the beginning and tie their whole thing at the end back to, like, this is how life is when you can connect the dots.
Yes, yes. But they keep us distracted with the entertainment. Here's a gifted orator who understands and is probably tapped into their divinity. Not probably, they are tapped into their divinity. But like I believe Maria said, they're going to try to figure out how to flip everything to the negative side. So how can we use this person? And this is what me and Miss Maria were talking about when you were gone. How can we use this person's divinity that they have tapped into and fool them? Well, now, you know how a good comedian, do you know how someone who is tapped into their divinity does? That's what they do. But we're going to say only the comedian, only the perfect storyteller. No, this mother is not telling stories, and since we tricked their brain into thinking that they're storytellers, they're actually wasting their God-given talent to tell us stories instead of teaching us. These are our storytellers. I am one of our storytellers. And we waste our time telling jokes, painting pretty pictures of distraction, but it gives us more worldly wealth. So more and more and more. And we say we're doing it for the people, but it's really the people because we're chasing wealth. But we're unaware. We're unaware. We don't know. Until you watch this video and now you know, so stop doing that dumb shit. All right, I'm done.
All right.
Well,
until next time.
The 17th, I will send a new link simply because we need our own exclusive link. And once I start making the big bucks, because I start work on the 3rd or the 2nd or whatever, I'll actually pay for Zoom. Thank you. You know, I'll get us a Zoom so we can stop getting kicked off. So yeah, all right. So thank you, ladies. I appreciate you. I'll be in contact with you throughout the week. Make sure you focus on how you express your energy, knowing that this is the day that the Lord has made. Our mantra is, how can you take today for granted? And then you had extra homework, which was if you can figure out what God is preparing you for, by being in whatever situation you're in, not just this, like God is doing all kinds of things to prepare you for your next. You know, Ree, I see you're posting more art videos right now. Why are you doing that? You're sending me particular videos. Why are you doing that? Why am I like, ooh, this could be your name. Ooh, this could be your name. Like, why not that? It's not because I'm like, what can I do for Ree? No, it's because you're doing things that's triggering thoughts that now I'm feeding into you. So what is God preparing you for? I don't know. You know, and so we have to look about, okay, if all these different things are happening in my life, what is the foundation God is giving me so that I can step up on the next step? Because I need that solid foundation. But before I can step there, if I step and I did not prepare, then guess what? I'm stepping into air and I'm going to fall back down to the previous level. But if I pay attention to what's happening, then I can get on the foundation and I can use all the things that I'm connecting my dots to build my step intentionally. Right now we're living unintentionally. So we're not making the correct, because we're not tapped into intuition. Intuition is necessary. So we know that we need to tap in to, y'all got my point. Spirit pointed out that, pointed out on lives, you can see when I fall into flow. And Spirit just reminded me that I fell into flow and you guys are watching me fall into flow. And then I was like, well, I got to look like I'm in flow. And then it got performative. So I stopped. Because I'm not going to play myself. You know, and so this is preparing me for when I have the world's attention. This is why God has me in this room. We can all leave. Thank you for giving us a closing. We were going to keep going until God gave me the end. Y'all know that, right? You know, so anyway, this is our closing statement. I can say that God has me on this call. I lost it. So, but that's the homework. the exit homework. God, why does God have you on this call? If God has us on this call, why could God have us on this call? And when I say it can be the biggest you could dream, it could be, what are you dealing with in your life right now? Like when I'm redefining love, and I'm like, okay, I need to love or live love. But Spirit was like, narrow it down, because this book that I'm reading, and it's so true, if you try to hit everything, you hit nothing. So it's like, I can manifest love, yes, but what do I need to work on? I need to work on how I love my husband. And so now when I'm manifesting love is patient, love is kind, love is all these different things, I'm focused on my husband. Because if I could figure out how to manifest that in my husband, my hardest challenge right now, then all the rest is figured out. You understand? If we focus on the simplest part of things, we only get that top layer of the Jolly Ranch or of the jawbreaker. But if we focus on the one part that challenges us the most, then we're getting to that center core. We're getting to that core. And we bypass everything that skinned my tongue, all that skinned my tongue and gave me sugar, all these different things, it's killing me. I bypass all that. I don't need all that waste. I'm going to get to the core. And the core is my marriage. I have to save my marriage. And so now I'm at the core. And I'm doing that work. And I forgot what I was talking about, but... Oh, yeah.
You're just letting us know that that's what we're supposed to find out about us. What are we doing on this call?
Why are we on this call?
That was yours. Yep.
Okay, go ahead, Miss Maria.
I was going to go back and think about it. I thought that was the homework.
No. What I was telling you was it doesn't have to be anything big. It can be something that's in your, like, if you dream as big as it can be, I'm on this call because I'm gonna da-da-da-da. Or it can be, it taught me I need to go hug my in-laws. That's why I'm on this call. And that's why I'm on this call.
Because I need to hear from people that are outside of my current sphere of, like, people that I talk to. Because we're kind of like an echo chamber. We all agree with each other. I need to be outside of that so I understand what's happening in the world as a whole.
That's beautiful. Ree?
Oops, it just got dark. I really like what you said, Maria. Like, I would like to amplify that. Like, not amplify that, but those are my sentiments as well. But I'm also on this call. Gosh, I guess it's the same. Like, to learn other options, to see what else is out there, because I've kind of exhausted what I know to do. So I'm kind of looking for something else to add to the program. What may work, what may not work, just information, sharing of information.
Amen. And so if we already have that foundation of knowing these are the reasons why we're on this call, let's leave this call knowing that that's the work we have to do. I'm on this call to heal my relationships. You're on this call for your reason. You're on this call for your reason. So let's get off of this call and live this week very, very intentional. Not, we're going to try to hit everything so we hit nothing. No, we're going to hit that which we just identified. So you guys have a wonderful evening. I appreciate you both.
All right, you too.
See you on the 17th.
Bye.
Boom.